Good morning, Facebook Live. I hope everyone is having a great Sunday so far. So just wanted to pop real quick and let you know a couple of things. Number one, I just finished putting together the video and blog post on basically the energy troubleshooting that I go through. So essentially, everything that goes on in my head as far as things that I do that help me get more energy. So it's not just one thing that I do, there's a ton of different things that I am essentially looking at that I know are helping me to get more energy. So that blog post is up, so you can click on the link in the that I posted on this live video and check that out. And then the other thing is basically a little message for today. So right now I am actually headed to go visit my parents, and I'm actually going to go out to well, I guess it's breakfast for me. It's 1:30 p.m. So this would be breakfast for me, but I guess lunch for a lot of people, or brunch. I guess it would be even more for me. But that being said, the reason why wanted to talk a little bit about this is because where I am at currently, and basically the way that my diet is shaped, and basically how I think of my diet is just very differently. And so I want to point out a couple of things. So number one is, like I mentioned, it is 1:30 p.m. I have been essentially fasting all morning. So this is intermittent fasting. And a lot of people look at fasting as something that is like, they think of fasting as not eating. Whereas for me, I don't think of fasting as not eating. I think of fasting as basically uh, something that is almost essential and necessary for the body to recover, for the body to basically, perform certain functions that are important for hormone production, for cleaning up the body. And there's a ton of different reasons why fasting should be part of your diet. Before I even learned a whole lot about, health, nutrition, and pretty much everything that I do, I used to eat pretty much right before I would go to bed around, 9:30, 10 p.m. And then I would wake up, and the first thing that I'd want to do is just eat, right? And so I would not have gone more than maybe 7 or 8 hours without eating anything. And back then, if you would ask me to fast, I would have basically, say that you were crazy, because I cannot picture waking up and not eating first thing in the morning. But here I am, a few years later, and fasting is almost it's part of my daily routine. It's part of my daily habit. And it's just something that, if I look at some of the things that I do, whenever I talk about getting more energy and doing stuff like that, I mean, I share pretty much everything that I do in that blog post that I'm sharing with you. Covers, it's possibly like the most comprehensive that I've, put together so far. But here's what I want to say, with that is, just because I'm sharing this information, just because I'm doing all of these things and showing you how to do them, at the end of the day, everything that I do, it's easy to do, but it's also easy not to do. And I would almost say that it's a lot easier to not do it. It's easy to do intermittent fasting, but it's also easy not to do intermittent fasting. And I think that's really where the difference between those who are experiencing results and are actually starting to get more energy and feel better, following the basically like what I teach, is it's just that it's basically looking at everything that I do and starting to implement, one thing at a time. And that's I guess the other key point that I hope you get, from that guy. Like I said, that guy that I just put together is like an overview on how I get more energy. But if you try to implement everything at once, I will tell you right now that even I am not able to implement all of that at once. I had to take one thing at a time and then just work on one thing at a time. It could be either, like, for me, I start with intermittent fasting. If I start with intermittent fasting, that's the one thing I do every day. That's basically what I have been doing since 2012. And so if you take the compound effect of doing that every day, There are different books I'll talk about. I'll be talking about some of them, later down the road. But one of them is the compound effect, or there's another book called The Slight Edge, which talks about these little principles where you can take one penny and double it a day, and the compound effect of that is basically that penny being doubled every single day turns into basically a million, and or actually way more than that. But the point is that in the beginning, it does not even seem like it's making much of a difference. And that's how I think of intermittent fasting. In the beginning, when you first start doing it, it doesn't really feel like there's much going on, like there's not much difference going on. Probiotics is another one. Some people will start taking probiotics and they'll drink probiotics one day, wake up the next day, and they're basically looking for the result. They're looking for the change, and it's not going to happen that way. The change is going to happen with what is the compound effect, is basically being consistent with it and basically doing it every day over and over until it basically becomes a habit, right? And so these are things that I believe are just as important to learn and understand, other than just all the information on how to raise your vitamin D levels, how to get more probiotics into your diet, and all these other things that I share. Those are also important, but I think it's the mindset part that is really also holding a lot of you guys back. And I think that everyone here can do everything that I am doing if you just set your mind to it. So hopefully I can share a lot more on that side. I believe it's one of those things that are missing in the information overwhelm and overload that is the internet today. So hopefully I'm not going to be adding so much to that, and actually gonna try to do less of that and do more actionable, and I want to start seeing more success stories coming out of this. So I hope that you guys enjoy the blog post that I did, and stay tuned for what I've got coming on this week. Like I said, I'm gonna go spend time with family now. So everyone enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.